Should be coming up here. Maybe. There we go.
There we are. Good evening, Facebook. Good evening. Good evening, Facebook family.
That delayed is weird.
Yes, it is. Hey, Rod. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? How are you this evening? I'm here with my girlfriend, my friend, my sister, Marada, my holy partner in crime, Lacy Lange, this evening. I am so excited about this time with her. So come on in, Facebook. Come on in. Thank you, Rod. Come on in, you guys. Thank you for coming on, and hopefully you can stay through the whole interview with Lacy this evening as she just shares. Thank you. Hey, Daniel. Thank you for coming on. So I'm here with Lacy this evening, and she is planning to share her story of her journey of self-love and what this means to her. So for you who don't know who Lacy is going to tell you who she is.
Hello. How is everybody doing? First of all, I want to say a shout out to the Fruit and Seed family. I see y'all on there, boo. Y'all know who I am, right? We are here to bring the truth about healing and wholeness and health. It is time for us as children of God to really begin to line up and do the things that God wants us to do. Now, understand, He loves you, boo. He is not going to change His mind about you. But understand, we diminish our ability to do our best for Him when we don't feel good. He says He wants us to prosper and to be in health, even as our soul prosper. Hey, Miss Sunny, I see you over there. And everybody on this Betty page, I am so excited. And so, my name is Lacy. If you don't know by now, she put it in the caption, right? So anyway, my name is Lacy. I'm a longtime resident here in the city of Benton Harbor. I went to school with my friend. It's just amazing that how God brings things around and what He does in our life. But it's up to us to cooperate with what He's doing, right? So this is such a crucial season for you. It's a crucial season for us. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to miss God's timing. What about you? I don't want to miss what God is doing. We have to be sharp. We have to be aware. And I'm here to help you in the area of health and wellness because of my particular journey and the things that God has helped me to overcome. Please share this with your page. Tag somebody. Don't be selfish. You're going to get all this good information and get all this wonderful storytelling and laughs and revelation. You need to share this with somebody, boo. Quit playing and share this to your page.
Good evening. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Katisha, Charlotte. Thank you guys for coming on and hopefully spending the rest of this time with us as Lacy shares her journey of health and healing and wholeness with us. So I'm really excited to have her here, and I'm excited about this journey that even God has me on and several other women that I have gotten confirmation of. This is the right season for us to take control of our lives, our spirit, our bodies, our emotions, loving us and valuing who we are, our whole being, that nothing is missing and nothing is broken, that we take care of ourselves and honor the temple that God has lent us in this time that we are here. So I'm super, super excited to have her here. And Lacy is going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Okay, well, I am ready to talk, as my Fruit and Seed people know, and y'all gonna find out. When I get on a roll, I get on a roll. But it's all good because I'm so passionate about this because of just the area that this has played such a huge part in my life. A long time war with obesity and bad health. Since the age of 12 years old, I battled with my weight up and down, and just could never find a long-term solution in the way of health, in the way of healing, in the way of wholeness. And that's actually the topic for tonight. If y'all saw the poster, wasn't the poster cute? It was cute. We were talking about health, healing, and wholeness, because it's not just about taking care of the outer appearance, taking care of the body. It's about the healing that has to happen in the soul, and also the wholeness that has to happen in our spirit man, in our human spirit man, okay? So I have a pair of pants I want to show y'all. If I can scoot back here. So I don't know if you can see, but these pants right here, these are not the largest pants.
Turn that so they can see this, Lacy. Look at this, you guys.
These are a size 24, 26, and they're not the largest that I had. These were the pair that I happened to keep, and I keep them as a badge of honor, as a point to remember exactly how far God has brought me. So I can remember being very young, and soon after 12, 13 years old, learning that I could stuff pain because of the amount of food that I could eat. And so the thing about it is that I couldn't control anything that was going on in my house. I couldn't control the relationship with my mom, but I could control my plate. And that was where I dominated. I dominated in my plate, and I ate and I ate and I ate. Now, the interesting thing about those pants, and the interesting thing about obesity, is it is a very private war, but it's fought in public. Everybody knows you got an issue, but nobody's willing to bring it to the table because culturally it's so acceptable for us to be obese. Because we got Big Mama, we got Grandma, we got Big Auntie, we got all these people in our family that are heavy, that can cook, right? And so it is just culturally acceptable for obesity to be a part of our lives. But what has become very prevalent is it should not be acceptable, but it has become acceptable. It's the sicknesses that run through generations because of it. We have high blood pressure, we have diabetes, we have heart disease that's also running in our culture. And like I said, obesity is a very private issue. It's a very private disease, but it's fought in the public. And the interesting thing is, everybody saw that I wore them pants. Everybody saw it. But the interesting thing is that people love you so much that they will see you going through a very private, very hard issue and not tell you about it because they love you. Because they love you. And I get that. People love you. We know that our family love us, but I myself was literally killing myself, and nobody told me because it was acceptable. And also, we can take on false identities. My obesity, the obesity that I lived in, became a false identity. It became a mask. It became a way that I could keep people back. It was a way that I could have everything that I wanted. And it was a way that I could hide my pain behind my clothes.
So obesity is a false identity.
Obesity is a false identity. Please get something to write with.
Take notes, you guys.
You better take notes because it's going to help you. It's going to help your family. Obesity is a false identity. Obesity is like a big coat that we put on that we can't seem to take off, and we begin to accept it because one of my things was, as long as I was cute, and as long as I could get my clothes big enough to fit me, that I was going to be okay. That I was okay as long as I could dress it up, make it up, suck it in, spank it in, that I was going to be okay. But in reality, I was sick. Not only my body was sick, but my soul was sick, and I didn't have any wholeness. So the health part just deals with the outer appearance. Okay, get the blood numbers correct. let's get in better health. Or the healing part has to do with the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotions. Let's deal with that. Now, the wholeness part is what I wanted. Now, I'm going to tell the truth. The main thing that you need in order to be healed in any area of your life, but especially in this area, you're going to need to be brutally honest, and you're going to have to be absolutely vulnerable. Share this. Share it to your page.
So for wholeness,
you're going to have to be brutally honest, and you're going to have to be absolutely vulnerable, because both of those opens you up to have a teachable spirit. If you refuse to be honest, and if you refuse to be vulnerable, that automatically puts up a wall that says, I'm going to do it my way. Now, how do I know? Somebody asked me, how do I know? How do I know? How do I know? All right. Because I dealt with and fought the obesity war for 35 years, and I lost for 30 years because I was not honest.
30 years.
30. I fought and I lost. Because, get this, I wanted to lose weight, but I didn't want to give up the food.
Wow.
And get this, God is not going to take anything from you that you still want. So if you still want it, he's going to let you have it. And guess what? His love for me did not change. He still loved me.
So he's not going to break and enter.
He's not going to break and enter. He's not going to break and enter, and he's not going to take anything from you that you actively still want. And so what was happening is I still wanted the food, but I just didn't want to be so big. And so I fought and I fought and I fought. Now, the honesty part came in when I got brutally honest with God, and I told God I was mad. I'm not partying. I'm not smoking. I'm not sleeping around. I ain't drinking, and you tell me I can't have my cookies. I'm mad. And I had to tell God, I'm mad at you.
So you felt like that was justifiable. Your weight was justifiable because of the other sins you were not partaking in.
Exactly, because Jesus loved me. This I know. For the Bible tell me so. He didn't say that my fat interfered with his love for me. And I knew that it didn't, because I could feel his presence. I knew that he loved me. But there was a reality in me coming to him in this blunt honesty. And I knew, we know, y'all know, when he's saying that you need to deal with this. But I'm like, you know what, Lord? I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm not sleeping around. I'm going to keep my Oreos. I'm going to keep my fried chicken. I'm keeping my French fries. And I'm going to speak in tongues, and I'm going to lay hands on the sick, even though I'm sick myself.
As a result of you holding on to that.
Listen, now this is good. God would not allow your gift to cover your sickness. God would not allow your gift to cover your sickness.
You guys better take notes.
God would not allow your gift. You could be gifted, anointed, call down angels, get Michael, all of them, to come to your rescue. And still your gifting will not cover the fact that you are sick. And we are sick. Obesity, get this, obesity is the most accepted disease and dysfunction in the body of Christ, and we won't deal with it.
Ooh, my.
I'm going to say that again. Obesity is the most widely acceptable disease and dysfunction in the body of Christ, and we will not deal with it.
Why do you think that is? Is that because of the statement you made?
It's because of the statement. We ain't smoking, we ain't drinking, we ain't partying, we might not be sleeping around, hey, but we are eating. And our culture in the church is based so much around food. Potlucks, dinners, picnics, all of these things that we get to do and we get to take part in. And it's not sin, but what it's doing to our temple is sinful. That's good. What it's doing to our body is sinful. It's sinful what we're doing to our bodies. And so when God began to deliver me, he began to deal with me from a wholeness aspect. He said, because I told God, I don't want good health. I don't need healing. I need to be whole because disease is an inside out issue. The issues you see on the outside is caused because of what's going on the inside. It's the issues that you see, the issues that you see in family, that you see in our culture has everything to do with what's going on the inside. That's why I love what you're doing about the self-love and self-care, because it's time. I believe God is saying it's time for us as children of God to take care of what's going on the inside, because we're trying to deal with things just from a health or just an external aspect. Listen, just let me lose 50-60 pounds and I'm okay. But if the foundation does not change, you will eat your way back up to your norm. So if obese attitude, chaotic, dysfunctional thinking. And obesity is not just what you eat, it's what's eating you. Obesity ain't what you eat, it's what's eating you.
Hold on here. You guys, did you catch that? I have to make note of that. Obesity is not...
It's not just what you eat, it's what's eating you. It's what's going on the inside. So when we allow God to deal with what's going on the inside, the manifestation on the outside will begin to automatically change. I saw a lady in the restaurant.
So it's internal.
It's internal. Chaos. It is internal chaos that we are trying to solve and settle by what we're putting in our bodies, by the escapism. That's one of the things we use at my church. We call our training center is false affections. False affections, and food is one of them. We run to it for false affection to give us love, give us comfort, give us peace, because we can't find it. And so we're always grabbing, trying to stuff that place, trying to not deal with the pain. When in this season, God is saying you got to deal with it because it's not getting better. It is not getting better. So many people are leaving the earth because of their own hands. The enemy, he doesn't have to do anything. All he has to do is put the right kind of food in front of us.
Yeah.
The right kind of issue. Now understand, because I'm talking, that don't mean I'm not processing. So you're going to have to find the way that God wants you to process your emotions, self-care, self-love. We got to learn how to deal with what's going on so we can be whole. Not just, oh, I'm cute and I got my little size whatever on, or I'm pumping, all buffed up for the guys that are watching. And there's no wholeness. There's a hole.
Yeah.
But there's no wholeness.
And that the statement that T.D. Jakes made yesterday in his message, he talked about the woman that was at the well who had been with 5 men, and the one she was with, that it isn't hers either. And he made a metaphor of her thirst. She was going to the well for water, but that's not what she was really needing. It wasn't the water, the physical water, the tangible water, but what she was missing internally, because he said the one you have is not yours. So the behavior, what happens privately, shows up publicly.
Exactly.
So it's our private life that's out of control. But yet we dance over it, we preach over it, we lay hands on it, we speak in tongues. All of these things we do, but behind the scenes, we're living defeated.
Exactly. We're living defeated lives. And that's where I was at my heaviest of 305. I knew God loved me. I could minister. I could sing. And I was broken. I could put makeup on and go to church and do the thing. I was a good wife. Me and my husband, we had a good relationship. We didn't argue, but just because we didn't argue didn't mean that we didn't have good communication skills, because we didn't.
What was your turning point?
My turning point, let me tell you this. So, let me tell you, I don't have a letter degree, but I have a PhD in being fat. I was fat a long time, and I know the game. There is a game. There is a matrix. There is a system in obesity, and we know how to play the game in order to in order to patronize people, and get what we want. So I was going to the doctor, patronizing, this is out of order. Let me help you. Let me help you. Your organs are having a private conversation, and the conversation shows up in your blood work. My organs were telling my story that things are out of order.
But you still preaching over it, laying hands over it.
Singing, crying, spitting, praying, talking in tongues, all of that. Messed up relationship at home, no communication, chaos, inner chaos that was going on the inside of me. But I knew how to do it. So anyway, I was going to the doctor, and I had been talking to the Lord about it for a while. God is always talking to you about your issue. You're not always listening.
God is talking to us, but we're not listening.
All the time. God is always, because he wants us to prosper and being healthy. He wants us to be whole. He just don't want us to be gifted, anointed. He don't want us just to prosper, be financially stable. He wants us to be whole. So he is always talking to us about our issue, but we're not always listening because of our ability to ignore God. All right, don't nobody want to talk about ignoring God. Casting out the devil, we're talking about Lucy Satan, and God is like, that's me.
Yes.
Talking to you about your issue. And I was going to the doctor, and the doctor was saying, this is going on, and that's going on, and blah, blah, blah. And I knew how to patronize. Well, I really love vegetables. Let me help you. Obese people in general do not like vegetables unless they battered and deep fried. Get that?
They don't like it unless it's battered and deep fried. So it's dead. They
Cauliflower.
Don't like...
Okay.
Yeah,
deep fried okra.
Yes.
Yeah, deep fried. Mm-hmm. Battered, deep fried. Let me put some ketchup on it. Anyway, and I was playing the game. Yes. Well, yes. And I said, well, I'm going to, and I've been doing this for a couple of years. And plus my apostle, my spiritual mom and the spirit Apostle Maria, if you see this, have been talking to me for a while in love.
Cindy, I'm coming for you.
And so, just have been talking to me. And so anyway, yes, I love vegetables. I drink a gallon of water a day. And so anyway, my doctor asked me, well, how is that helping? I mean, how is that working for you? And that statement made me so mad. And so I went on about my business, and then I went through a really hard time emotionally. Mm-hmm. And during that period, sometimes God has to wait for a door of opening. So he comes through that door, and he begins to deal with your heart in a different way. And that's exactly what happened. My spiritual mother came to me, and she said, honey, this is not about you and anything else that's going on. It's about you, your relationship with God, and your relationship with yourself. Obesity has everything to do with your relationship with yourself. Because we eat on this is what I wrote down today. This is good. We choose food based on our unconscious estimation of our own body. We guess how much our body can take, and then we push that limit. We choose food based on our unconscious estimation of our body and our self-worth.
Say that again for him, please.
We choose food. You choose food based on your unconscious estimation of your own body and your own self-worth. And this is it, boo. Let me help you. We can say, oh, well, healthy food is so expensive. Well, we get our nails done. We get our hair done. We put gas in the car and go everywhere we want to go. The truth of the matter is you pay for your priority.
Yes, we do. I'm stuck on this self-worth. The food we eat, how we treat our body is about our self-worth.
It's about our self-worth.
So how we see ourselves.
How we see ourselves. As a matter of fact, the other day, I was in the kitchen. I got something that I thought was healthy. And anyway, I was walking through the kitchen, and I happened to look down, and I know I heard the Lord say, so this is what you think your body is worth. And I said, oh my goodness. And it struck me in a different kind of way, because I had to take a step back and really evaluate what I was putting into my body. Now, listen, we don't listen for those of us who have these high maintenance cars, these foreign cars.
Yes.
You don't put cheap gas in your car.
Yes.
You don't put cheap air in your car.
Yes.
Listen, my husband got this car. He need nitrogen, and he has to make an appointment.
So we'll treat our cars better than we will this vehicle.
And this is our body. This is the vehicle God gave us to drive around in the earth. Our body isn't us, but us is inside of here. So how we treat this will determine the longevity of the ride we get to take.
That's right.
That's a good word. That's a good word right there. How we treat this will determine the longevity we get to ride around in it. We treat it bad, we treat it poorly, we treat it crappy. Now, I'm not talking about special circumstances and, DNA stuff happening. I'm talking about the 99% of us that ain't nothing wrong with us. We just treating our bodies very poorly.
But Lacy, this is a conversation that's really sometimes difficult to have with people. Sometimes they can be really defensive about it, having that. It's a road less traveled.
It is.
The internal work of love is a road less traveled. And people are so fixated on getting to a certain weight, but not about their numbers. Just look over what the doctor is saying to them, but your body is speaking to you all the time. Exactly. And sometimes you can, even in your settings with friends in your circle, out to dinner, you might get teased about what you eat, because now they're comparing your size to their size, and so in their eyes you're fine. Yes. There's nothing wrong with you, but genetically you know your limits. Exactly. In your body. So it's talk to the person who can be easily offended by this conversation of this road less traveled. That's a
good question. Well, whosoever you are that's watching, that will watch, you know the truth. I was talking to a young woman one time, a few months back, and she came up with all of these excuses as to why she couldn't take care of herself, why she couldn't go to something as simple as working out, going to the gym, doing something 30 minutes a day. And she said, well, I have this going on, and I have that going on, and I have that going on. And I told her, you know what? When you make your health a priority, you're going to make it happen. Until then, you're going to keep making excuses. Because the fact of the matter is, remember, vulnerability and honesty, those are the two things you're going to have to be in order to get wholeness in here. You can have a bariatric surgery, you can do all kind of weight loss plans, and you can get real tiny and be all cute for a little while. But if that foundation does not change, if the foundation stay in place, all of the stressors are going to come back. How are you handling stress? How do you process your emotions? If good. All of that stay the same, you will eat your way back to your normal, because we live out of our foundation. We don't live out of head knowledge. You live out of your foundation. So if your foundation don't change, you will eat your way back up. But this is critical.
And this is key to what you just said, because I've worked with people who stopped smoking, really wanted to stop bothering their health, but then they stop it to pick up another habit, which meaning their foundation didn't change.
Yeah, they just transferred addictions
to another.
They just transferred addictions because wholeness never took place. So because wholeness never took place, it just found another outlet. Because wholeness never took place, addiction found another outlet to express itself. Girl! Wait a minute!
Hold on, I gotta write this.
Because wholeness never took place, addiction found another outlet to express itself. Because wholeness never took place. That's why it's so critical to be made whole. Not just be healed. Not just, the lepers in the Bible that wanted to be healed. And they walked away. As they went, one of them realized he was healed, turned around and gave thanks to Jesus, and Jesus said, now you're going to be made whole. Sometimes we just want to be healed. We just want the results to be gone, but we don't want to give up the rocky, nasty foundation because we're getting a payoff from it.
Good, that's good.
You get a payoff from being how you've always been, from clicking and popping. You get a payoff from that. But when God says that that's some of the stuff you're going to have to give up, you get a payoff for harboring resentment and bitterness against people because you think they owe you something. You get a payoff from it. And because it never changes, addiction just finds another outlet to express itself, and it's still there. And you think, well, I don't do that, but now I do this. And that's one of the critical things, especially for those of us who've had bariatric surgery, to really be aware of. Not only us, but everybody who goes through a drastic weight loss process of any kind, is if your foundation does not change, you will transfer addiction. You say, oh, I can't go in through the kitchen door. Oh, well, there's a basement door I'm going to go in through. There's a window I'm going to go in through, and it just finds another outlet.
Yes. And I've seen this also true with men and women who lose weight, and their motive for losing it isn't about, granted, they may do it initially because the doctor is saying it, but in their head, they want people to lust after them. I want you to see me because I've been invisible for a long time. So now I'm dressing this outward, and I'm posing, and I'm sashaying, and this conceit and arrogance come over me because of this external victory, temporary external victory. But you never deal with that inside man, and so that inside person is the one that's showing up out here saying, "See me now."
Talking about needs-based behavior. Needs-based behavior. What is your why? If your why isn't deep enough and connected on a deep, eternal, internal level. If your why, for whatever you want to do, is not deep enough, if it's not connected with just you and God, eternal, internal, then when you get what you want and you become a sign and a wonder, you're going to pull on that to fulfill the needs that you did not receive. But the foundation still don't change.
So there's still a void.
There's still a void. There's still a hole. There's no wholeness, but there's a hole. And guess what, boo? When the right trigger comes, you're going to eat your way back to foundation, because we live out of foundation. You don't live up here. You live out of foundation. That's why we're able to patronize people. That's why we do it. We do it all the time in church. Yes, amen. Glory to God. Yes, amen. And there is no foundation. There's no root. There's nothing on the inside that says, I'm going to take and live off of this, because that is a whole nother process. It ain't running around hitting nobody high five and skipping and dancing. I'm sorry to tell you, because I danced too one time, baby, but all I ended up was sweaty and still bowed.
So the destiny is wholeness. So we got our health, the numbers.
Right.
And then we have our healing, how it looks on the outside. And the wholeness is inwardly healed.
It has to be.
Our foundation.
It has to be. And that is where the process can be found and lost. What are you willing to give up to be whole? Because my God told me, Lacy, you're going to have to, listen, let me help you. I'm getting so excited. But let me help you. When I was mad and talking to Jesus and telling him how much I didn't want to give up my cookies and pizza, he told me, you're going to have to come to a place of peace and understanding there is some stuff you cannot have because of what it does to you physiologically. He said, this isn't the medical, this isn't the mental realm, because we think all I have to do is deal with the willpower. Where there's a will, there's a way. There's a will, there's a way. And God said, no, there's some stuff that interacts with you physiologically that causes you to binge. You are addicted to sugar, and you need to get a grip.
You're right, Rodney. The destiny is wholeness.
You need to get a grip.
Yes. So the self-love. With self-love, we have to do the internal work of love.
You have to, as a matter of fact. Where did I write that down? Did I write that down? I think I wrote down all of the outer problems we see are caused by the inner issues we don't see. All of the outer problems that you see is caused by the inner issues that we don't see. It's caused by the volcano constantly erupting on the inside that we don't see, that produces the out of control behavior. And we wonder what on earth is wrong with our kids, where they're living in a home where there's constant chaos. And they exemplify the chaos from the inside out in the school. If you want to know what's going on, go to their house and see how they living. And that will explain it all. You'll come out of there, I understand now. So, what chaotic volcano is happening in your life that God is always talking to you about? He'll wait way later on in the midnight hour when ain't nobody else around but you and him, and he'll start talking to you. You know, you really do need to forgive Uncle so-and-so that raped you. You know, you really do need to deal with that. You know, you really do need to deal with that. Because it shows up. It shows up in your attitude. It shows up in how you treat your kids, your family. It shows up in work. Honey, it shows up in traffic. The Lord called me today and told me, Lacy, you the one speeding. You know, because, you know, Brandy was in front of me and I was trying to get my momentum on in a 30 miles an hour driving lane. Well, you know, when you ride on the highway so much, you know, you used to going 75, 80. Well, Jesus told me, you're the one wrong. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. So just because you want to go a certain speed, that don't mean that that's the speed limit. So we got to start dealing with what's going on. So how do you do with that? Be honest and be vulnerable. Get you some professional help. What is up with us not seeing a doctor? What is up with us not seeing a psychiatrist?
Deal with that, please.
What is up with us? What do we think? Culturally, we think a shamalama ding dong is enough. I'm gonna help you. You need to go and speak to somebody impartial who will not give you their judgment based on knowledge of your situation.
Impartial.
Who sometimes you just need to go to somebody and pour out on them. And that's what they are equipped to do. That's what they're medically equipped to do. And let me help you. If you need a pill, you need to take one to get yourself under control. Quit faking the funk and think that we're okay. And we know that there's something chemically going on. So what the Lord was telling me about the medical and the mental part of the food that I was taking in is that there is some food that chemically reacts to your body and causes you to binge. Refined sugar, flour, carbs, potatoes, all of that crap that causes you to binge because of how it reacts to you physiologically. He said you're going to have to get peace about leaving it alone. And until you get peace, or if you don't get peace about what you have to lay down, you're always war with it.
This is good,
Girl, that's a trip. Until you get peace about the thing you have to lay down, you'll always war with it. If you don't have any peace about that relationship that you know God is telling you to lay down, you're going to war with it. Unforgiveness, bitterness, all of that stuff that the internal work, the stuff that's causing you to binge, the stuff that's triggering you, those emotional areas that push your button, and before you know it, you reaching for something to eat. Fat brain, brat girl back here, like, yeah, all right, you know what? I ain't going to get you told, but I'm going to give me this box of Oreos and this ice cream, and we're going to tear that thing up.
And sometimes they will check you if you say something about your friend, your sister. You're trying to love her. You're gentle with her, but will let you have it give you the business. about their food because they know it's wrong.
They know it's wrong, and they're very territorial. I was territorial about my food. I did a chat a week or so ago, and it was called, letting go of food control. Because I went to Jimmy John's, and I had an unwich, honey. I was unwich, and the girl wasn't putting enough mayo on my sandwich, on my unwich, and I was standing there having a fit, and I heard the Lord tell me, you don't need that much mayo anyway. Why are you tripping? Still wanting to have just a little sliver of control. It's all about control. I can't control this. I can't control my husband going out on me. I can't control this foolishness at school. These kids are crazy. But let me get this extra large pizza. I'm going to tell you what I used to do. Let me get this on a Saturday. This was me and my private date. Me and my food. An extra large pizza, hot wings, ice cream, and cookies. I wouldn't eat all day. So that's one of the games that we play. Oh, I don't eat a lot. You know what? I didn't. But from 6 o'clock till about 11 o'clock at night, I had it turned out. Just me and my food. It was a private love affair. But it was killing me. One of the pastors said yesterday, it's private interesting. I wanted to hang on, and I fought for the thing that was killing me.
Say that again for him.
I hung on to, and I fought for the very thing that was killing me. Some of you are fighting for stuff that you know is killing you.
Which shows up in different areas. Again, I'm going to keep bringing it back for that woman at the well.
Exactly.
For what was killing her is what she kept running to.
Exactly. Because she was trying to find wholeness. And she thought a relationship was going to bring wholeness. Feeling. It wasn't even about the relationship. It was the need to be needed. I need to be needed. I need for somebody to need me.
And to see me.
And to see me. Need me, see me, fake, falsely feel my whole, but could never sustain it because it wasn't from the only one who could.
This is good.
And he told her, if you knew the water that I had, you would never thirst again. We're still thirsty, and we're still running after the wrong thing. I would get that large pizza, and I would eat half of it, and then a little bit later on, I would eat the rest of it. I would eat all the hot wings. I would eat all the ice cream and the cookies myself. I would go to bed. I had acid reflux. I would wake up in my sleep not being able to breathe. All of that happened because I was trying to feel rejection and abandonment. The eating is not about the food. It's about what you're trying to feel. That was good. The eating ain't about the food. The sex ain't about the food. The smoking, the going out, the anger, the bitterness. It's not about that thing. It's what you're trying to feel with it. It's what you're doing, trying to feel. So it wasn't about the food. It wasn't that it tasted so great. It was because I was trying to feel something that I didn't allow God to feel. Because that took the process. That took okay, you're going to have to get peace about not having your way.
Control. You had to let it go.
I had to let it go. You're going to have to get peace about not having your way. Why you got to have your way, Lacy? Why you got to be mad? Why you got to be mad at him? Why you have to try to make people pay for your pain?
Yes, you're right, Rod. We hang on and fight for the things that are killing us. And not only is it killing you, it's killing your relationship. So everyone attached to you.
Killing everything. It's killing everything. It's giving you a false identity. It's covering up who you really are. And it's delaying and possibly killing the destiny and purpose that God has for you. Because in order for us to walk out our purpose and our destiny in God, it demands authenticity. You got to be authentic. And you can't be authentic when you covering up stuff and you don't want to deal with stuff and you're mad and you're angry and you still having your way and you think you're going to sneak and tip and everybody know. And then we have Facebook world where I can fake the funk and my home life is jacked up.
Yeah. And you talk about those closet eaters. So out the restaurant, they're not eating much, but they're watching you.
Exactly.
But they're still, just spreading. But they're watching you now, but they won't do it in front of you.
Exactly.
Everything shows up somewhere.
It always shows up. Everything, the issues always show up. Issues always show up. And unfortunately, like Betty was saying, as far as those friends, those people, those relatives that won't allow us to talk to them, deal with them. I know I myself, but this was it. I was a silent, resistant person. I didn't say anything, but I was angry on the inside. Who she thinks she is talking to me? Oh, how you doing? Mm-hmm. Who she thinks she is? I'm so tired of a little self telling me about my eating. Mm-hmm. So I ain't gonna eat nothing here.
Right. And that's what you would see. Sometimes they wouldn't eat in front of you, but yet and still you see it.
Of course you see.
You see that they're out of control.
You see that it's out of control. Obesity is a very private, ugly battle. But get this, it's obesity, it's bulimia, it's anorexia, it's all of the addictive patterns of behavior. They're private, but they're fought in the public. Everybody see it. But everybody love you, boo. So ain't nobody gonna tell you that you killing yourself while you riding around in the trolley at Myers. They just gonna tell you, oh, it's so good to see you, and oh, I love you. But nobody's gonna say, you know what? I want to help you. Let's talk to somebody. Let's get you in and see a counselor. But because the cultural norms, we watch people commit a slow suicide.
And I'm not crazy. I'm crazy. I don't need nobody to talk to me.
I don't need medicine. I don't need no hospital stay. I don't need to talk to anybody. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I am a huge proponent of going to the doctor. You need to see a medical professional. Do it, because our health, our mental health is at stake. Our destiny is at stake.
I have a 2-part question for you.
Ask it.
Because sometimes that when you are changing, evolving, and you make the choice to love yourself inside out, sometimes that can be can cause conflict and friction with friends and family, because when it's happening on the inside, whether it is your weight or you're growing and maturing and evolving, it's happening on the inside. They are noticing the changes on the outside. Your responses, your emotional intelligence. You're becoming more disciplined and controlled.
Right.
So now what used to trigger you don't trigger you anymore.
Right.
So when you have the dynamic of I'm changing, and maybe I haven't shared this with them, but they notice it, and now you're light. You're becoming light in the midst of darkness. But you need their support for where you are. And sometimes that can cause a separation with your friends, your family, because you're evolving. Because to get real about losing the weight, that's deeper than just the external part of it. It changes, it should, if you're talking about wholeness.
Yes.
It's going to change your whole thought process. How you process information, how you see food, how you see yourself. So you're now in touch, self-preservation. You're in touch with yourself. So in those friendships or with that family that you know you love, you want them in your life, should there be, or is there a conversation that you should have with them for not only accountability, but I need your support, and don't tease me in this process. I'm serious about my life.
Cool. All right. I love that. I did a chat. Let's see. It was in 2017. It was called The Holidays and Family Dynamics. Let me help you. This is so good. Thank you, guys. Everybody in the family has a place and a position to play.
Okay.
In my family dynamic, I was big, sick Lacy.
Really?
That was the family dynamic. I had cute, skinny cousin, sister. I had sweet sister. I had funny mom. I had loud cousin. Everybody in your family has a position, has a place and a position to play. Now, when I started to change, it upset the family dynamic.
Okay.
Because now the roles had to shift.
Okay.
I wasn't Big Sick Lacy anymore.
Okay.
So what happens, not only that, you have the family dynamic or that dynamic that goes on in friendships, relationships at work. Everybody has a part to play.
Yeah.
So when you begin to shift for the better, the other people don't know their part anymore. So it's not about you, it's about them being insecure in their part because you're no longer the same.
Yeah.
You have changed. Your position, your part has changed.
So do you think there's a mourning for that person they used to know?
Of course there is. That's why there's so much anger. Because now you're not the one that you want to go hang out and eat with them. You don't want to smoke with them. You don't want to party with them anymore. And so, of course, there's going to be friction. There's going to be animosity. Why? Because our dynamic, our family dynamic has changed. The dynamic of the group has changed. And now, what am I supposed to do with myself because you, Betty, has changed? So that means our friendship has changed because now some friendships and relationships are purely based on y'all going out to eat.
Okay.
So when I begin to change, those relationships had to fall off. One or two things had to happen. The relationship had to fall off with friends. The relationship had to fall off. Or eventually I would conform and eat back to my norm. And I've seen that. I've seen that where one of the people in the relationship would change, the other one would be upset. They start self-sabotaging. They start sabotaging. Go ahead, have a little bit. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. And before you know it, you and your best buddy, you and your best friend that y'all been friends since y'all was in the second grade. And now y'all 105 together. No, I'm just playing. But you and your best friend that y'all been friends since the second grade, and now things have changed and shift. And so now there's jealousy, there's anger, there's animosity, there's bitterness on the inside. Can you say on the inside? They ain't going to tell you up front, but they're going to make little sly comments like, I got all. So you try to be skinny like me, huh? I said, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there has to come that time where that confrontation has to happen. And there has to be a new line drawn and a new defining moment of your new identity set in place to say, that is not me, and I refuse to allow you to refer to me as that. And this is who I am. And if you don't want to be with me, that's fine. Now, in my life, let me help you. In my life, I only have 3 people. 3 people. I call them my Trinity accountability. Don't be stealing my words now. Trinity accountability. 3 people in my life that I care to the utmost about how they feel about me. That's my spiritual parents and my husband. Listen, my mama ain't on the list.
So, Trinity? You said Trinity accountability?
Trinity accountability. You need at least 3 people in your life that's going to tell you the truth, that's going to be bluntly honest, that's going to know you by the Spirit, and that's going to love you no matter what, to tell you the truth. And I tell you what, as a matter of fact, I told somebody that they had the nerve to come up to me and talk to me about something. And I said, you know what? It's so amazing that you would think that your opinion of me really matters. But I only have 3 people in my life, and you're not on the list. So I do have 3 people in my life.
So does some relationships fall off, or does it just become surface?
Some relationships just become surface. They have to, because remember, now you're beginning to go in a completely different direction. Now, that doesn't mean that you see each other, chit-chat, hey, how the kids, blah, blah, blah. But deep conversations will not be had with those people because you're transforming from the inside out. You are different. Your identity has changed. But what will happen if you're not careful? You'll be in that circle, and they'll reel you and pull you right back in to your old place. Especially when you don't know who you are. Woo! they're going to pull you back into that old identity.
Yes.
Why? Because it makes them comfortable in how they treat you.
Yeah.
They don't have to contend with the new you.
Yeah.
They don't have to figure out the new you. They can deal with the old you. So, girl, do you remember 5 years ago when we did thus and so? And you remember when we went to Vegas and stuff? Some relationships are just based on your past with them. You ain't got nothing future present to talk to them about. It's just based on, do you remember when we thus and thus?
Yes.
They make the people for your future, boo. Them are not the ones.
Because they should grow with you.
They should grow with you, but it's going to take process. And everybody ain't willing or wanting to go through the process. And that is another part you'll have to get peace with. Everybody is not going to be happy about your transformation. Number one, not people in your own family. Oh, please just take a deep breath over that. Mom and them and your sisters and cousins and all of them, they ain't gonna like it because you think you all that now. No, I'm transforming. I love you. We'll chat at Christmas time, but other than that, you're not going in the same direction. And you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
That don't make you better. That don't make you special. But it makes you unique because you decided to live out your destiny.
Yeah, and that is the key. So wholeness, healing, you might still have them in your life.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's an external work.
Mm-hmm.
But wholeness may eliminate those superficial relationships.
It has
because you have transformed. So now the Lacy I used to know, I have to get to know this new Lacy if I have to change in order to connect with you.
Yeah, because now I'm moving forward. So now you're connecting with people that are attached to your destiny. Not your past. Now, girl, you remember 10 years ago? I noticed that a few months ago. I mean, I met up with some people and they were like, girl, you remember 20 years, 15 years ago we did lessons. So, we had so much fun. And I'm sitting there thinking, why are you content with being stuck in a place that no longer exists?
Yeah. And it's like, do you see me?
But they don't even see themselves.
No.
They don't see themselves. It takes process. It takes moving forward. It takes blunt honesty and vulnerability to say, you know what? I don't have the answers and I need help. And this is all of my ugliness, God. Can you help me? Who can help me? Some people I run into, they just want the results. They don't want the process.
Yeah. So, before we end this, I want to know if there's any questions you guys.
Oh, y'all got any questions?
Is there any questions for Lacy? But my take home from this is, for one, obesity is a false identity. It's external. We need healing in our soul.
Yes.
But with wholeness, we have to get brutally honest.
Yes.
And we have to be willing to be vulnerable.
You have to.
God will not allow yourself to love. Is this it? Love your gift?
God will not allow your gift to supersede your illness, meaning you can't be anointed over your gift.
Ooh.
What is that? What your thing say? Samsung has stopped.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let me go back here. So God will not allow your gift to supersede
your illness.
Your illness.
That's why, unfortunately, so many great leaders get out there and their illness shows up.
So you have great people fall. So obesity is one of those. And then you have all of the things that are going on right now in our churches.
Exactly. Because there was an illness there.
Yeah.
There was an illness always there that nobody dealt with. That there was a reluctancy. There was an honesty. They were still getting a payoff. I remember, like I said, for so long, I wanted to lose weight, but I didn't want to give up the food. And that's not how it works with God. I mean, he sacrificed. He gave his life. Why I want to give up cookies? Come on, somebody. Well, I
So
can't get no help.
in order to, so we pretty much sugarcoat or temporarily feed our emotional voids with the external work of love, our preaching, our gifting, our talents, all of those, the stage that God has given us to do His work. But behind the scenes, our private life is truly chaos and destroying us.
And he still deals with it. Yep, we'll sing the house down, preach the house down, lay hands on the sick. We go home tired, restless, and whatever the real issue is, Daddy gonna come and start talking to you about it again. Oh yeah, you did an awesome job today. You know, you still haven't forgiven Aunt Mary. You know, she messed you up about 20 years ago. And you still haven't forgiven her.
For the quote scripture, preach the house down, speak in tongue, and we leave defeated. Chaos.
Chaos. All up in here. All up in here. And this is what is devastating our lives, our church, our kids, our country. We see that on a daily basis. People going off, people getting guns, people hurting other people. Why? Because of them not internally taking care of their mental health. And or if you have husband, wife, kids, and you know that there's something going on in them, it is up to us to seek out help and get them the help that they need and quit playing. Oh, they okay. They just, oh, well, you know, he's always been just a little different. No, it is a responsibility to get them the help that they need and quit playing.
So for someone, this message is touching on this live video tonight. It is tugging at their hearts. For one, in the end of this, I want you to give the information on how they can reach you, contact you for coaching and them to healing and wholeness. But what are some things that they can do right now? Right now, some basics that they can do right now, even if that's not the outward, but some steps that they can take.
Okay, some of the steps that you can take right now that will start a dramatic change is journaling. Listen, prayer is on the list, but when you full up here, you can't pray. I don't know about nobody else. When my head is spinning, I can't pray. Journaling is throwing up on paper. Get you a book. I don't care if it's a notebook, a sterno book, college bound, it don't matter. And get you a couple of pencils and throw up on paper. Write down the truth. You need a place to dump it.
You guys should be taking notes.
You need a place to dump your emotions. Until you see a professional, it may solve and settle a lot. Just having some time. I mean, cry, spit, fall out, and write.
Would someone please comment that in there? So she's giving some basic steps to kickstarting your process of healing and wholeness. Journaling.
So you have to journal. You're gonna have to find a way to journal because you need an outlet to pour out your emotions, an outlet to pour out things that you cannot say yet. You'll come to a point where you'll be able to say, but until that point comes, you're gonna have to have an outlet to pour it out. Number one, of course, pray, read your word. But like I said, when my head is full and I'm full of worry and fear, I can't pray right away.
Yeah.
Because it's too full here. I can't quiet this down. And one of the things that I do is physical activity. Find something. Every physical activity, running doesn't work for everybody. Going to the gym, walking. I mean, find something that works for you. Why? This is why I say that. Is remember, when my head is full and I'm all chaotic, that is energy. Listen, your body does not care. The adrenaline in your body doesn't care if you're running from a dog or if you're nervous, worried, upset, had an argument.
Yeah.
The same amount of adrenaline is released.
Yeah, it's good. That's one thing that I dance in
Ooh,
the house
yay.
because I'm not physically able to work out the way I could do high intensity. So that's how really I kickstart my process going back in, because I have to do something that's fun to get me back in that zone of working out. So I'll turn on music in here and I just get at it.
Do something.
Yeah.
Find something that works for you. You have to find something that works for you. Get up. Why? Because remember, the adrenaline has been released. Don't know if you had a fight. Don't know if you're worried and nervous. It's released. Fight or flight. You're going to have to find some way to expend that energy. So there was a situation happening in my family with my son. I was so messed up. Here, I heard the Lord say, put your tennis shoes on and go for a really long walk, because you cannot listen. When your head is spinning and full of chaos, you can't hear God for answers. He said, you're going to have to walk and talk to me for a long time and get it out of you so you can hear me. Because while your head is spinning, I can't talk to you.
Okay, so we got 3 steps so far. Some basic steps is journaling, throwing up on paper. Secondly, pray and read your word. So journaling is first, because you got to get out those emotions.
That's true.
Secondly, pray and read your word. Thirdly, some form of physical activity.
Yes. Something. Find something to do. Walking the dog. You got to find some way to get out. Going to the beach. Even if you can't do physical activity, go to the beach. Sit there. Talk to God, pray, cry, whatever you need to do to release that energy out of your body, to that adrenaline rush to get out of your body. At one point, I was going to the beach all the time, throwing rocks in the beach, doing these prophetic acts, throwing rocks, and I'm throwing my cares into the water, screaming, yelling, and crying. And I tell you, that beach, Gene Clark Park, was my saving grace for a while. It really was, because I could not settle this head because it was so full of chaos and worry.
I remember you were posting pictures. Yeah.
That was my season at the beach.
Yeah.
I went a lot.
So is there anything basic regarding food, or let's start here?
Okay, that would be the first place to start. Now, food-wise, I'm going to give you the tip that I give everybody when I see them in stores and they're like, oh, yay, you lost weight. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, I'm excited about that. But this is the tip that I get. Because the majority of us are addicted, I don't know if you want to admit it or not, but you're addicted to refined sugar, processed items, potato chips, pasta. My recommendation would be to stop. Get peace about it. All white products. No sugar, no flour, no wheat. Wheat is just white flour turned brown. No wheat, no pasta, no cookies.
No whole wheat pasta. None of it. No. So no wheat. All white.
All white items. Now there's some grain pastas that you can find, but they're made out of lentils, so you have to pay close attention to that. Because most of them that are just plain white flour or flour base, because what it does is our bodies was not designed to process the yeast. And the gluten, a lot of people are gluten sensitive also. And our bodies aren't designed to process that. That's why we're having such an issue with it. And the carbs hit the blood system just like sugar. Now, calories, this is what I found out. Let me explain this. Fat on your body is just energy that the body has stored for later use. That's it.
Okay.
That's all it is. There's no magic to it. It's energy on your body. So if your body only needs 1,200 calories or 1,200 units of energy a day, and you take in 3,000 units of energy, it's going to store all the rest of that as fat on your body. So what's going to happen, you're going to take all of that in, and your lungs are going to say, you know what? I don't have any room up here. So the heart is going to say, well, send some over here. And you're going to have fat around your heart, fat around your liver, fat all over your body because it's storing the energy that you've eaten because you didn't need 3,000 calories. You only needed 1,200.
Okay.
And that's the mystery. So one of the things that the white stuff does is it causes that insulin release quicker. That's why we get the highs and the lows all day long.
Energy.
And our energy level. So what you're going to want to do is eat something in the morning that isn't sweet, either some type of smoothie or something that's going to balance your blood sugar because you fasted over the night. It's going to balance your blood sugar, give you enough energy to get you going for today.
Okay. So we want to work on eliminating.
Yeah.
That's a must. We need to eliminate all white refined products.
Yeah. And you have to get peace about it too. Because I've talked to some people about it and they like, look. What? Like I was. Mm-hmm. Jesus, look, I ain't cussing, I ain't smoking, I ain't sleeping around. You mean tell me I can't have my Oreos and my donuts and my cookies and my coffee with my whole lot of sugar in it? There's so many wonderful alternatives that are healthy, that are natural, that are going to give you the flavor that you want without all of the baggage. And it would take about 2 weeks to detox from it. If you give yourself a good 2 weeks to detox, you're gonna be sailing after that. And you're not gonna want it. You're not gonna even want it. But it's getting past that 2 week period and getting peace. And also the pop. The pop, you have to let the pop go. Do Crystal Light. I know it has artificial sweetener, but there's a stevia, which is a natural sweetener. There's Propel, there's Gatorade, there's water. You put lemon in it. You're going to have to find an alternative that works because they put phosphorus in pop so that it will protect our organs. Now, if you can burn acid off of a battery with a Pepsi, what is it doing to our bodies, to our internal organs? And I was a Spriteaholic. I could drink 2 liters in a couple days by myself. And my body paid for it too. Yeah.
Wow. This was awesome, Lacy.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending. You guys enjoyed this. I know you did. Because I did, and I learned some things, and I'm going to challenge myself and get an accountability partner, especially with, I'm not huge on the pop, but some of the whites, not of the pasta, I guess. I don't, eat white sugar, but I'm going to work on this too, detoxing the for 2 weeks. And I think about that in terms of detoxing toxic people. I just talked about that. I just talked about this yesterday, binding the strong man.
You better detox from them people.
And this is a strong man too.
It is. It is. And it's taking us out.
It's a stronghold. Yeah.
It's a stronghold. And we're not and it's time for us to deal with it because it affects our mental health too. When we feel bad, when we're not nutritionally sound, it affects the way we think. I used to wake up foggy and couldn't focus, couldn't concentrate, because of how my body was trying to process all these chemicals that's in the food now. It's not how grandparents and great-grandparents used to raise their own animals and all of that. This is artificially processed, chemically laden, recalled all the time food items that we're putting into our bodies. And now our bodies are saying, I can't process this.
Yeah.
So
this was really great. So any parting words that you'd like to share, and then how they can reach you?
Okay, well, just to tell you my stats, that's one of the things that we do in the bariatric world. I am almost 2 years out from surgery. It was a means in order for God to begin to talk to me in a new way. Now, this is not advocating surgery, but let me help you, boo. If you need it, you need to go talk to the doctor. Quit playing, quit faking the funk. If you need some surgical intervention, get it. Quit playing and get it. I've lost 140 pounds, and I went from a size 26, 28, and now, just depending upon what's going on, the clothes size 10, 12s. And that's all great and wonderful, but the most important part is what has happened in my heart and in my identity, the true, authentic Lacy, who I was always meant to be, is finally coming out, and I love who I am, and I want to empower and help, and I am assigned to do this. And that's how you know when you're assigned, because he will take the hell that you went through and turn it into a miracle, give you a mission, and then make it his purpose for your life. So whatever hell that you've been in, that's been your Achilles tendon and you can't seem to shake off, that's the place where he wants you to minister out of. And healing, wholeness, and freedom from your weight may be a part of that, or it may be that too. That's fine. It's more than enough for everybody. But I want to do my part anyway. You can reach me at www.fruitandseed.com. Fruit and Seed LLC. It is an official business.
Yes.
And I want to help you. I told the Lord, I said, I don't want people to be inspired. I don't want them to feel blessed. I want them to be transformed. Because we get inspired and motivated and all tingled up every week. But I want to give you information that's going to help you to transform your life. And my name is Lacy, and I got some fruit. That's how the name came to being. I have fruit in my life, and I open it up and have given you some seed. Now, what you do with the seed is up to you, but I tell you what, boo, it works. Every bit of it works. If you want more details, you can look me up, fruitandseed.com, on Facebook, and I got the YouTube page and all kinds of stuff. So look me up if you need help. More than willing to. I got a lot of stuff going on in the oven. Just keep watch out. And you're going to see me around because I want to help, because I know the reality of living an obese life. It is hell. But there is freedom, boo. That's the hope right there. There is freedom for you. But you got to be willing to pay the price. And I'll help you walk the process. You ain't going to be by yourself. You ain't got to do this alone. You got help. So, anyway, that's the final word. That's all I got to say.
Take your bow, Miss Lady Queen. Take your bow. Thank you, Lacy, for coming and partnering with me in purpose. And I hope, once that name is up there, like, I know her, Lacy. Yeah, that's Lacy Lange. That you don't forget about little Miss Lady.
Oh, honey, no. You're going to be up there with me and say, hey, I know somebody.
And I'm hoping that you come back. And,
I will.
Yeah, thank you for
anytime
for seeing my vision and giving me this opportunity to use this platform. You guys, we have the opportunity to change the world. We may not reach them in the church. We may not reach them on our jobs. But any platform, any stage that God has given you, this is what this is for.
Yeah.
This is what it is for. So I thank her for seeing what I was doing as worthy to come and spend time with me. And I will say it again, self-love is the action beyond affirmation.
Oh, that's a good word. That's good.
It's the action. It's the work we have to do inside, our internal work. And it is really the road less traveled.
It is.
Transformation is the road less traveled. But we're going to do the work of love this year, you guys. We're going to love ourselves, and we're not going to just claim it and put a name on it, but we're going to work in here. So I thank you all for coming and spending time with me tonight. And I will also give you guys notice soon of my next guest that will be here talking about self-love and their journey. So that's to come really soon. But thank you guys for coming on and spending time with me. And I thank my guests again, Lacy. Good night, you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all. Bye.